Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and today we have a look at one of the March 1st, 2023 LEGO Speed Champion sets. This is set number 76916, the Porsche 963, where you voted the order in which I should review these vehicles. Again, this product has been sent to me by the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all thoughts and opinions expressed in this review are my own, and I am incredibly excited to get into this because this is one of the most intricately detailed cars that we've ever gotten from Speed Champions, featuring a brand new windscreen and all sorts of very unique building techniques to craft, especially the back of the vehicle itself, the way the fin is hidden inside the vehicle, which is a completely unique technique, and of course the way the front is done using some brand new pieces, which are really exciting. And so, without further ado, I think it's time we jump right into the review of set number 76916. Alright, so here we have the Porsche 963. This is set number 76916. It retails for $25 US and comes with one minifigure and basically just the car. First of all, just to get started, I want to talk a little bit about price. I spent a long time talking about price and how the price increased for these Speed Champions vehicles from $20 to $25 in my review of the Pagani Utopia, which you can check out. It was near the end of that review in the playlist link below. So if you want to hear my full thoughts on pricing, do go check out the end of that review. But I'll just kind of sum it up here by saying that, yeah, I think these are a little overpriced. I definitely feel that $20 was a lot more fair for vehicles like these. Sure, there's a lot of great development effort and work that goes into these, and new molds, licensees, making sure that their vehicles look good, brand new prints, and specialized pieces. But at the end of the day, you're paying $25 for a single car, and I would have much preferred it if they had to increase the price, make it like $22. Don't make it $25. Two cars is already $50, and that feels pretty extreme to me. But with that out of the way, let's just jump into the review, and first I want to take a look at some of the new pieces that were introduced for this wave of LEGO Speed Champions. Let's go. I went very in-depth into what I thought about the brand new pieces and the special new recolors in my previous reviews of the Speed Champions cars. Most notably in the review of the Pagani Utopia, I spent a long time talking about each of the new pieces, so I won't spend too much time right now because you can just go check out that review if you want to hear it. But in essence, I feel like the new studs on the side curve piece is so useful. Interesting how LEGO is expanding the library of rounded tiles and plates. These used to be only 1x2s, but now we have 1x3s and 1x4s. The new slope piece is not super useful to me, but it exists, it's nice, and it's nice to get recolors of the half hemisphere piece in trans clear as well as the Aston Martin headlight piece as well. Of course, these are not all of the new pieces and recolors, just the ones that I found interesting for building, and we'll be talking about some of the other new pieces and recolors later on in this review. Alright, and with that out of the way, let's jump into the main review itself. So in addition to the new pieces that I mentioned that are more for generic brick building, we have a brand new windscreen being introduced here. I can definitely see this being useful for all sorts of other LEGO applications, whether it be like a Ninjago car or a Star Wars cockpit. This is really cool, and I can't wait to see where else this will pop up. Otherwise, pretty much all the new molds have been summed up, and let's just take a look at the build itself. Now, interestingly enough, viewers voted for this to be last in terms of what they wanted to see me review first, but this was actually the first vehicle I made because personally I was most excited about this, but maybe that was just me. For me, I personally like it when Speed Champions makes cars that are kind of abnormal compared to the normal shaping of vehicles. I like it when they do wacky stuff like really interestingly shaped race cars and stuff like this. So this was right up my alley. I like it when sets do different things, and that was what I really appreciated. So the first and foremost thing that I do want to jump in by saying here is that, yeah, this does not use the standard Speed Champions base, because of course it isn't meant to fit two people, it's just meant to fit one driver. So you have one of the oldest LEGO car bases being used here, which is really interesting. Just a very little small 4-stud wide, or built for 4-stud wide, it was basically 2-stud wide, little car chassis here, and then you just build it outwards from there, which I found really interesting. But it makes total sense because, again, you really only need one driver for this. Really great building techniques like recoloring these kind of crescent pieces in transparent clear. These pieces may be new to a lot of folks because they were just introduced in a few sets last year, like they popped up in Super Mario and whatnot, but they're very, very new pieces to have these just flat little curved pieces, which are really nice to see. And then overall, you go to the back here, you are using the fin element, which was used for like the Star Wars A-Wings and whatnot for the back of the car here, which is similar to how they did it for other vehicles, but built in a completely different way, which is really cool. And then on the back, you are using a lot of copies of that brand new studs on the side rounded element just to provide some texture. They didn't even need to do it for this, but just because they had the new piece, they chose to use it for this particular vehicle, which is really cool. So talking about the shaping, let's start off with the front of the vehicle here, because I think that's the most interesting part of it. Coming head on, it's really cool how you can very clearly see the face of the minifigure. Look how happy he looks driving this crazy car. And you can see the headlights, which are really thin slivers, which I really like. I love the way that it's done. And overall, the building techniques for the front are surprisingly simple. There aren't really any crazy studs on the side or studs upside down or even curved techniques going on here. It's just layering bricks. I mean, even these are just basically bricks layered on top of each other. Not saying that's bad, I was just kind of surprised at how simple the front was, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing because they absolutely nailed the way the shaping was supposed to look. Going on to the back here, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. For those who aren't aware of exactly how the shaping of this fin piece works, the fin piece is a massive piece that has a secondary fin that goes into here and then sticks out of the back. What they've done is they have built around the secondary piece, they have covered up the front part of this fin. It's like the piece is this long. It's a really long piece, but they've covered up the front and really made it seem like it is a brand new shape, just having one little bit of the fin sticking out of the back. And that was probably one of my favorite parts of the entire vehicle. Other thing to note here is that this has a lot of stickers. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29 stickers. almost 30 stickers. It's a lot of stickers to put on. I don't know how I feel about that, but again, I do feel like most of them were pretty necessary to get the striping pattern in. I definitely do like it, how they were able to get the stripes in here. But I also feel like that was a lot of stickers to put on, and especially putting 3 stickers on one piece was quite frustrating. And I know LEGO's printed these pieces before. Maybe they weren't willing or didn't have the budget to do it now, but again, we're paying $25 for one car. Would have been nice to see at least some more prints. Oh no, we have more. 30, 31. Forgot to count the stickers on here. So yeah, 31 stickers. That's crazy. I mean, I bet there's even more that I just didn't even realize. Overall though, moving on to the back part of the car and the shaping on the back, this is also remarkably simple in the way it's constructed. You mostly have just standard studs on the side techniques to mount the way that the back kind of foil looks here. You have your intake and whatnot for the fin, so I like the build overall. I think it's done pretty well, but again, fairly standard building techniques. The only really crazy thing was seeing these brand new studs on the side pieces, which I already said I am so excited to see crop up in more sets, and this is going to be one of the most useful LEGO pieces ever. Now, onto the back of the car here, you can see a lot more of those pieces used. So if anything else, this is a great parts pack. You get so many of these new studs on these side pieces, and once you look at the vehicle overall, it is a really nicely shaped vehicle. You feel like this has a lot of speed to it. You can really see this just racing along, which is a very cool look. And yeah, I think that about sums up our review of this particular model. Not as much to say about this one that I had compared to the other vehicles, because again, the shaping on this one just isn't really as refined, or not even refined. It isn't as advanced in terms of building techniques as some of the other vehicles. It's not bad, but the other ones were more interesting builds. This was more of a top to bottom build, which is nothing wrong with that. The coolest thing was being able to hide the fin back here, but otherwise the building techniques were actually surprisingly simple for a Speed Champions car. Again, not a bad thing, just something I wanted to point out. Overall, value-wise, yeah, not worth $25. I wish they went back to 20. I would accept 22, and 22 is kind of the max, and 25 feels a little bit high for me, and I feel like I've been feeling that a lot more as my reviews go on. I've been reviewing these in order, and the first one for the Pagani Utopia, I was like, yeah, 25's fine, but like it could be cheaper. And then by the second review, I was like, yeah, I really do wish it was 22. And by now, I'm like, no, it should be 20, but like I would accept 22. Maybe by the end of these reviews, I would be saying like, make these 20 or else. So we'll see how my opinion changes. But yeah, 25 does feel like a lot of money to me. But again, if people are excited about these cars, if people continue to buy them from LEGO at this price, it's how economics works. LEGO will keep charging that price for them. It's just how things are. So LEGO clearly thinks that they are going to be able to charge $25 for these. Seems like it's been successful so far with the price increases on the other sets. We'll have to see if LEGO will stick with this price range or change the prices eventually. With that, we have summed up our review of this particular model. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our review of set number 76916, the Porsche 963. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this model? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? And how do you think it compares next to all of the other 8-stud wide Speed Champions vehicles that we've gotten over the years? I definitely feel that Speed Champions is one of the best lines that LEGO has going right now. The amount of quality and detail that you get in each and every one of these builds is absolutely outstanding. I'm a huge fan of the line. I really hope that it continues into the future, and I also hope that we get more movie cars as well, because those are always a blast to see. And with that, we've summed up our review of this LEGO Speed Champion set. Stay tuned for our full review of all of the sets coming very soon. I'm going to be combining all of them and comparing my thoughts on all of these sets. And so, without further ado, thank you all so much for tuning into Duckbricks. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon. Thanks, and bye for now.